How to plan your destination wedding, part 2. Tips and tricks that I learned while planning my wedding, how to save some money and budget. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit different to my usual video, and it's actually a follow-up video to my original one, which is this one. In that original video, I went through some of my wedding planning tips and what I learned while I planned my destination wedding. That video garnished a lot of views, and I actually got a lot of sweet bride-to-bes that would reach out to me here or even on Instagram with some additional questions. And I thought, since again I'm getting so many questions and similar questions, I thought I would do a follow-up video so I can answer them here, and that way it could be useful information for everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time watching, my name is Gigi and this is Styled by Glam. Usually I post a fashion, beauty and lifestyle vlogs on this channel, and if that's something of interest to you, I would love for you to join me on here. And if you can help me out, do all the good things for this channel. I'm still trying to grow it. Any little love will go a long way, and I truly appreciate it. Also, I post on TikTok as well as Instagram on a day-to-day basis. Over there, I share a lot of outfit ideas as well as skincare routines. And if you do check it out and join me over there, don't be shy and say hello. Now that we've gotten all the social plugs out of the way, let's get into the main portion of this video. It's the budgeting tips that I learned along the way while I planned my wedding. My wedding happened right before the pandemic, or actually right on the day of lockdown here in LA, March 14, 2020. That's why I'm not going to fully mention the pricing of what I paid, because I feel like after the pandemic, prices has definitely increased. So I'm going to focus on tips and tricks that I learned along the way that did save me money. That way, I feel like it's a little bit more relevant to the brides that are planning their wedding right now. If I were to give you the pricing, it's probably much cheaper than what it is now. Unfortunately, I just feel like all around, all the pricing has gone up, even in everyday living circumstances. So I'm pretty sure wedding prices has also increased as well. I do feel for you ladies. I fully understand, and I hope these tips will help you out a bit and help you save some money. First things first, prioritizing. Before you go into a full-blown planning, sit down with your partner and go through what is your priority. And in the excitement of an engagement, we often go full-blown, go into the planning without thinking too much, and everything gets very chaotic. And a lot of times when everything is happening at the same time, you lose sight of what is your priority. And I think that's so important to kind of shave down what you don't really care about, and those things is exactly where you can save money. I know flowers were a big deal for me. I make sure that a large chunk of my budget went into flowers, but for some people they may not care about the flowers, and you can save money on that end. I did a good balance between the furniture and the flowers. Some of the pieces I chose at the venue was part of the package that came along with, so I didn't need to pay additional renter's fee for some of the furniture. By thinking about what is more important for you, you can definitely find ways to size down your budget. The next tip is using the knot. Every bride that DM'd me, I would tell them use the knot. It is a free site, and it was a lifesaver in finding the right vendors for me. And that way I was able to price out, compare, shop around, find the best vendor for my price range. Here are all the free things that you get by joining the knot. Number one is your wedding website. You can set up a good wedding website, and that way you have all your info in one page. As you progress in your wedding planning, you can direct all your guests to this website, and it's free, so you save money on that. Don't go and use a hosting site where you have to pay money. You don't need that. The website also comes with a free registry. So if you are not planning to have a specific registry at a specific retailer, you can use the knot and it will be on your wedding website where people can send you gifts and it doesn't cost you anything. Number 3 is what I love the most about it. There were so many resources on the Knot for you to search the right vendor that suits your wedding. That's where I found my wedding planner and my travel agent. For a destination wedding, the travel agent is so important. Their team, the TripGuy, and they are amazing. I'll go into that a little bit more as we go down the list of tips. Contrary to what people believe, yes, you do have to spend money to hire a wedding planner. However, having an experienced wedding planner is gonna actually save you a lot of money. Now, here are some tips to shop for the right wedding planner and to find one in your budget. Referring back to using the Knot, you can kind of categorize wedding planners by where you want your budget to lie. I selected 3 different ranges from high tier, mid tier, and low tier to compare what kind of services they provided. Before you go talk to them, first understand what exactly do you need. When it comes to wedding planning, it's not just a full package. You can actually choose different packages. For example, only the day of, partial planning, which includes selective planning assistance. Now, the full service really entails like everything. For example, if you have 0 clue where your venue is, your planner will then set up visits to different locations so you can scout out your wedding venue. Maybe you don't even know where to shop for your dress, set up appointments for you so that you can have dress try on. And then last but not least, honestly, them being the experts in planning, they're dealing with pricing left and right. So they know exactly when things are being over budgeted or overpriced. So yes, even though you are spending some money on the planner, for the amount that they actually saved me overall, it was well worth it. Other than the wedding planner, the next vendor I would say is a must and will help you save money is the travel agent. As I mentioned earlier, the TripGuy was my travel agent and I'm so grateful for what they did for me. Here's a little backstory of what happened. Initially, I was working with another travel agent. The lady that was helping me turns out wasn't very experienced. I want to say half year out from the wedding, that's when I started to fully realize how inexperienced she was. Many of my guests were starting to book their rooms and they were coming to me letting me know she was non-responsive. She didn't really help with any discount, any kind of special rate, and she simply was just very unprofessional when it comes to getting information for the payment. After I think at least 4 to 5 guests complained to me, I decided, hey, I need to pull the plug and make sure I find the right person to help me out because this is already 6 months out from the actual wedding. Again, I used the Knot and I landed on the TripGuy's page. I am so grateful I did. I called and I talked to Mitch. He was very understanding. He's very experienced, and I explained the situation and he simply told me, look, it's okay, we got this, we'll clean up the list for you. Any guest that has already booked, they'll stick to that booking, which is fine. Any new guests that hasn't booked yet, we'll make sure they're taken care of. And even if we didn't book the rooms for the guests, we'll take care of all your guests' transport from the airport and back. Everybody knows where they're at and you have no headache. Don't worry about it. They really swooped in and cleaned everything up. On top of it, because they have really good relationship with the hotel, there is a group rate that you can book the rooms in. What I didn't realize initially was that by booking group rates, the hotel then uses that as a credit to the bridal party. If you book like up to a certain amount of room, they will give you additional perks and discounts for the wedding. That's why it's so important to find a good travel agent. Mitch and his team knew exactly what to do to help me negotiate. They actually went back out to Unico and explained the situation of what happened with the inexperienced travel agent. Told them that, hey, she's actually already booked that many rooms with you guys. Her guest has booked, like, I think at the time I had like 8 or 9 rooms already booked in. Probably gonna get additional, I forgot how many more rooms. Because of their relationship with the hotel, they made it more flexible and more understanding, and even though the initial bookings weren't part of the group booking, they gave me some credit on it as well. So that's where I saved a lot of money. Most of that credit was actually used in the reception welcome dinner, where I think we got additional hours services for free, just basically deducted off because we got credit from all the bookings that we did. And before moving on, I would like to thank Mitch, TripGuy, for sponsoring this portion of the video. It was a pleasure to work with them on my wedding, and I'm really excited to be working with them on my channel as well. For the background, TripGuy is an online travel agency, and they specialize in Caribbean and Mexico destinations. They are great for wedding planning. They have really great relationships with many popular resorts. If you're looking for a travel agent for your wedding, definitely check them out. I'll leave their link below where you can see all the reviews and see the services that they can provide. To be very honest, I never used a travel agent before. This was the very first time I used one for wedding planning, to say the least. Having that nightmare experience to then have the trip guy swoop in and help me out was honestly a night and day, and I cannot emphasize how important it is to find the right travel agent for your destination wedding. And lastly, here's a few more other smaller things that you can do to help with your budget. Number one, invitations. I skipped the final invitation altogether. I only sent hard copy of save the date. To be very honest, personally, I didn't see the need to send 3 different versions of cards to people with a picture of my husband and I. We focused on our save the dates with our pets on it because we really wanted to include them. So we did spend some money on that, and for us that was well worth it because that is a keepsake for us. But for the actual reply on confirming wedding, we directed them to the website and everything was just managed from there. If I were to mail not only the save the date and then the final invitation and then the RSVP back or whatnot, just postage alone, I saved at least a few $100s. It's not a lot, but it can add up. Next are prints and design. You don't have to go fancy. Honestly, use Etsy. Etsy is amazing. There's a lot of great designers on Etsy selling templates that you can easily use and incorporate into your wedding. I found mine on Etsy. I did the drink menu, I did the timeline schedule card, all of that, and then also the welcoming board. I got the print off of that and passed it to my hotel to do the final print. All of it was very affordable at a very budget-friendly price, but it looked amazing and it fit the aesthetics of my wedding. And there's so many designs out there that you can easily find one that suits yours. And lastly, bridesmaids dresses. Bridesmaids dresses honestly are overpriced, personally, I think. And most of the time, it's dresses that people won't wear again. So instead of going to a traditional bridesmaids dressmaker or brand, I actually shopped off of Topshop. The satin dresses that I found was off of Topshop. I did purchase all the dresses for my bridesmaids and I also bought a jumpsuit for them, but they were all from very affordable brands. I think the jumpsuit was from Misguided. It fit perfectly to my aesthetic. I love how simple and sleek it is, and it doesn't look like your generic bridesmaid dress. If you're not purchasing the dress for your bridesmaids, even for your bridesmaids themselves, a lot of the time it sucks that you have to spend so much money on a dress that you won't ever wear again. And I wanted to be very considerate of my friends' budget, especially they're already traveling to a destination wedding. And yeah, that way I saved, I think, at least a good $500-600 because the dress on Topshop was like, I think $80 or something like that, but the quality was amazing. It looked amazing. The jumpsuit looked amazing. So everything worked out great. For reference, I'll link some websites below, different sites that I always see really good dress styles and maybe even jumpsuit styles that you can incorporate for your wedding. And the last tip is, when it comes to dress shopping, attend trunk shows. These trunk shows are happening all over town. So check your bridal retailers and see what kind of trunk shows are happening and make an appointment to shop ahead. The reason I say to go to trunk shows is because during trunk shows, they offer a discount. Now, when you're purchasing a higher priced dress, even a 20% or 10% discount will make a huge difference. And that's exactly what happened. I went during the week that Pronovia's was doing a trunk show, and I got my dress that week and I got a discount. It's a great way to check out different brands that you may or may not have known, and also get to see the entire line, most likely get a discount. So I highly recommend that when you're dress shopping. And that is the part 2 of how I plan my destination wedding and some budgeting tips for you to save some money. If you have any questions regarding to this video, or even in my part 1 video of wedding planning, feel free to leave your comment below. I'll try to answer everything, or even DM me on Instagram. I've had bride-to-be's done that, and honestly, it's easier to chat over there too. I'll be able to just directly reply to you. And lastly, my main tip is enjoy the process. Don't let the small things stress you out. I planned my wedding while the pandemic was unfolding. I can get through that and handle the fact that my guest list dropped by half. I went from 80 guests to down to 40 during the actual weekend of my wedding due to COVID. If I can handle that, you can handle everything. Enjoy the process, enjoy your wedding day. The memories of that's count the most, and pay attention to the details and just be in the moment. Happy wedding planning, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.
Something special. Oh, it just feels